Hello there. Well, it's mid-April and I'm going down to the river to do a bit of Tenkara fly fishing. It's a lovely afternoon. Oh, and there's a brimstone butterfly, first I've seen this year. Now, I've been at a meeting all morning, but the meeting was not far from the river, so I had my rod in the car and a few bits and an old hat. So I'm all ready for fishing. And there's the king cups again. They're even better than they were the last time I came down here. They really do like to grow in this wet places, and it's been a very wet year. But the river there should be plenty of water in the river, and it looks pretty good. And the leaf is coming out on the trees quite a lot more now. Well, there's one of my favourite seats. I shall have a sit down there and set up the rod. They are so simple, these little rods. They're so small, so light. It hardly seems like a fishing rod at all, but it is really a very delicate little wand. And it's quite long because this is a 10-foot rod, 10'6" I think. It only fishes at the one length, but it was one that I had in the car. And there's the fly. I made the fly myself. I'm not sure really what it is, but it does look like a fly anyway, of some sort. These little rivers, the fish are not too fussy. Because the food source is not enormous, it's not a chalk stream, so they take whatever they can get, and there's not a lot of rises at the moment, but I think that there'll be, so it's a wet fly. That was a bow and arrow cast. It's a very useful cast for flicking underneath bushes and things. Now, I was lucky I didn't get it filmed, but catching it. But there's a lovely, real wild brown trout. See how dark they are from these woodland streams. They don't get much bigger than this. It's about 10 inches. But it's a lovely fish. Lovely condition too. Let's get it back as soon as possible. There she goes. Now, usually around about this time you start to see a few rises, but I haven't seen any yet. They're still feeding underwater, I suppose, on all sorts of things, caddises and little tiny shrimps and things. That hat of mine, it's seen better days, and I still haven't started to use my my new net yet. I'm still using this rather cheap old one, but it is quite convenient because it's not very big. See how clear the water is, but there's still plenty of water there, and it's pretty clear in most places, especially when it runs over these lovely gravel beds. I love the sound of that water. Look at the wildflowers here. Look, the bluebells and the stitchwort all mingled together. Everywhere you look at this time of year, there are wildflowers. This ancient woodland is pretty undisturbed. I've caught a small one. I won't need the net for this. With the Tenkara, you do need to hold the line and the rod in one hand if you're using a net. Now here it is. This is a little trout par. That could be a young sea trout that will go to the sea, or it might stay in the river. They're all the same species. Now I actually see that's the first rise I've seen on the river this year, a decent rise that is, but I'm afraid it was so close to me I frightened the fish, so it's time to go and pack the rod up. You can see how easy it is to close those sections down, and that top section is very, very thin indeed. You have to be very careful with it, but when the rod is fully extended, it's quite a powerful rod. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this little video, and if you did, please click a like and maybe subscribe. And as I make my way back up the track, you'll see that the bluebells not in their full bloom yet, but they're nearly there. Another few days and it will be quite a sight to see. I'm looking forward to that. Goodbye for now.